call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grid 6 feet like Kenny.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
It's good, everybody. We're back at it again with another episode of Future Financial Strategies. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. Have you hit the like? Have you subscribed? Have you shared the video? I know we just started out, but let's start it out right. We got to get this out in the algorithm. People sharing is caring. You're going to be getting this Wednesday instead of Thursday, Wednesday the 6th. Going to be an interesting day. It's going to be jam-packed. You're also going to be getting, obviously, crypto portfolio updates today as well. You will also, reminder for everybody, in a few short hours, we will be having a Hot Shot episode of Guns and Butter. Hot Shot meaning it will not be going as late as we normally do, but we will be doing it. I will be over in Colorado visiting out there for CEDIA, so all my content is going to be tech nerd related for that, and it will be on other channels. So, you know, I'm going to have some stuff scheduled out for you guys while I'm gone, but I will not be able to do Guns and Butter at a normal time or on our normal length because I'm going to be on a plane. Basically, is the moral of the story. And then after I'm off the plane, it's going to be too late. I'm not going to, and I have classes the next day. I'm going to be having classes through the weekend. Going to be learning stuff, going to be seeing cool stuff, learning about what's coming on in future tech for residential and commercial spaces from a technology standpoint. I'll be launching another channel to help with my business, which is going to be cool. It's going to be completely disassociated from this for obvious reasons. And, you know, we're going to be rocking it out how we rock it out. Those of you who see it will see it. Those of you who don't see it aren't in the industry and don't need to for real see it. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff going. First things first, it was the end of the month. End of the month financials. And let me tell you, good sirs, that we ended the month strong. We ended the month strong. So we definitely made, we ended the month strong. It was a good month. All of our investments were good. It was a down month, though. So the net worth took a hit. And I've talked about this in other videos. I've talked about it ad nauseum. I am super overextended in a cryptocurrency. So if crypto has a bad month, my portfolio across the board has a bad month because most of it's crypto. Most of my net worth is crypto. Most of my net worth is not my house. That's not a good place to be in, not a good space to be in my opinion. Which we'll be going into in this video here in a little bit. Obviously, if you saw the topic of the video, 13 ways that you're fumbling the bag. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good one. But before that, we gotta eat the vegetables. Actually, it's all vegetables all the time over here because I'm not trying to entertain you. Doing this for information purposes. Put the information out there. Hopefully some of you get it. Those of you who don't can continue doing what you're doing and not winning. It's fine. It's winners only over here. So the net worth took a hit. So we took as far as surmising the end of the month, investments were on par. We invested what we were supposed to. We kept within the budget. We got our house savings allocated out, which we're saving in the market aggressively. Bought a little bit of Bitcoin with that. Getting aggressive with that. But the net worth took a $6,479.63 hit, which wasn't all of it, which is good because crypto is kind of pulled away from the stock market because my stock portfolios were fine. It was just the crypto this time around, which is good. House is also good. Like the value in there is also set. But we did take a loss on paper because, I mean, obviously, if you're tracking it, you can see the months that go bad. One of the perks of having tracked it and having data for multiple years, though, is I knew going into September, this was getting ready to be a bad month. September is shakeout September in crypto market. That's where the market is highly volatile, normally towards the downside to run people out. You get the bare bottom prices in September. And we're okay with that. Like I knew it was coming. I knew we were getting ready to start that roller coaster down. Obviously, we're not closing out positions. I don't liquidate for that. I just ride through it. But we are going to be aggressively buying the entire month of September. That's the plan. But again, obviously, it affects the net worth, and we're going to be fully transparent over here. When the net worth takes a hit, you guys are going to know it. We got to be honest about it. Plus side, credit score went up 3 points. So we're at a solid 820 now. Also good because we're getting ready to put that to work once these interest rates start coming down. Plus side of having an 820 credit score is while all the rest of you are paying 20 some odd percent, 30%. If you got a Marshall's card, those of you with store credit cards are really getting raked over the coals right now and carrying debt. Y'all are not in a very not good spot. Now, me, I'm getting offers from my credit card. I just got one for my city card that I rarely use anymore because we're scaling back the debt. We're not going to use it. Like, we're not going to play that game. Now is not the time to be carrying debt when it's 27, 30%, crazy numbers. But one of the interesting things that you get when you have good credit, spectacular credit, let's be honest, it's not just good credit, is there for the charge. I really wish that they would extend this to me as a balance transfer, some sort of opportunity where I could extract cash from this. But they issued me for like the next, I think it's like 8 months, 9 months, something like that. For my city card, it's 4% APY or 4% APR. For my card. So I went ahead and activated that. I mean, I don't buy some stuff, but I guess next large purchase, if I don't put it on the daily driver, I might throw it on that. I don't normally carry a balance that long though. Like I tried to save up till I can pay for something and then I use the credit card to get the points. But it's something to think about because the other thing that they also, all my credit cards do is allow me to parse up those payments at a lower interest rate or no interest, which is kind of nice. It allows me to keep cash in the market. Only reason I would do something like that. But, you know, having those solid round numbers is nice, especially during the times when you're not using your credit. It's something that you get to brag about online. In all honesty, I don't see how it's not possible if you're actually utilizing your credit for your score to stay the same. Like it dips as you use it, goes back up as you pay it off. Like the way that they gamify that's really weird. But, you know, social proof. I got better credit than most people. Whatever. I understand like a lot of people would say, oh, that's because you're a good consumer. And I would say to them, you don't understand how money works if that's your thought process or that's your rebuttal. Or you don't know that I know how money works. So the way we use credit over here is a little bit different than the way most of y'all use credit. So I need good credit to be able to utilize it the way that I want to because like I start swinging for the fences. I swing for the fences with my credit. We use credit to buy assets. That's what we're shifting to exclusively moving forward, barring any tragic events, but it's always good to have that cushion of money. Now, we are going to get into the 13 ways you are fumbling the bag. You peasants. The reason I say that is a lot of people don't understand, and it's easier to frame it this way because if you frame it as a negative, it gets people's attention. And then maybe, just maybe, they'll stick around, get offended, and then learn something and switch up how they're doing things. But this is how most of you financially illiterate brokies are fumbling the bag. And I've got 13 of them for you. They're solid ones. So hopefully this is going to be chock full of value. We're trying to make every episode chock full of value. Number one. This is number one. You are relying on your parents/friends to sustain your lifestyle. That means that you can't pay rent on your own. That means you're living at your mom's house. You're still at home. And you're not contributing to the household aside from being there and eating up all the food. Your friends are buying your drinks when you're out. You got the one friend that's got the good job and you expect him to pay for everything because you're around. And that dude's paying to have friends, which is also bad, but you're in a worse spot than he is because you're not in a situation where you can sustain yourself. Not a good place to be financially. You guys got to get that together. It's not a good look. Like if you always on the passenger side of your best friend's ride. I think they wrote a song about that. Don't want no scrub. You're the scrub. You're the scrub. You got to fix that. Number two, for this is one for if you've moved up from that. You're not you're sustainable, but you view your home as your greatest asset. Now you can't ever leave. Now, me personally, I'm always working. Could be out tonight. I'm working. I'm recording this. Missing a bunch of stuff this weekend because I'm about to be in a plane. Gone. I'm working. There's a difference because like when I'm at home, I'm working. Like I'm generally not at home just sitting around watching TV. I do have some times where I got to decompress and I got to throw something on for 30 minutes. 30 minutes to an hour maybe. Depends. And while I'm doing that, I get my gaming fix out of the way too. Like I play games while I'm watching TV. All the downtime stuff, all the low value stuff happens at the same time around here. But you view your home as your greatest asset. And so you bought more home. You let them talk you up. They were like, you knew how much you needed. You knew what you wanted. And they were like, you know what? We'll give you more money. And you took it. You took it. You took the extra money. Oh boy. And you bought more home than you needed. And you really thought you was doing something. And then you realize, oh, wait a second. It takes all my money to pay this mortgage. And then COVID happened and they raised taxes. And then the payment went up. And now you're really struggling. Like now you talking about, I mean, in Canada, they're talking about they're going to the food dispensaries and these people got jobs, but they got to figure out if they're going to pay their mortgage or they're going to eat. It's a wild decision to have to make. But that's where you're at because you thought your home was your greatest asset. And you keep telling everybody, oh, I got so much money in my home, but that money is only accessible if you borrow more money, which is going to drive the payment that you already can't afford up, right? Right. Or you sell it, in which case you no longer have a home, which is going to put you into a worse situation for most of you because interest rates are so high that you're going to have an even higher payment. And you couldn't afford the first payment. And now you're going to have to get a second payment because you just taken everything that you can get versus what you actually need because you're not making informed decisions. And per Yahoo Finance, 56% of you feel like you're in over your heads that have bought homes in the past few years. 56% over your heads. Okay. You over your head. 62% of you per Yahoo Finance are feeling. Actually, it's not that you're feeling. This ain't even a feeling. This is a reality. Have struggled to make a mortgage payment. This means you almost missed one. You're cutting it close. It's wild. That's not a good place to be. Not a good place to be. But you guys are looking at your home as your greatest asset. I look at my home as a tool. It's an asset. Not my greatest asset by any means. But since I have to have a place to live, I would rather be in control of that payment to some extent and at least have the assurance of knowing what it is. And at least have the secondary assurance of knowing that it's less than what I would be paying renting. But again, it depends on how you look at it. It depends on what you're willing to live through, what type of situations you're willing to put yourself in to get ahead. Because, like, you know, most of you are going to have roommates to rent, but you won't have roommates when one of you won't get your stuff together to buy a home and then have everybody live there so that the rent doesn't have to go up every year. Hundreds of dollars. But again, I digress. You know, your home's your greatest asset. Now you stuck there. Now you can't invest. Now you can't buy your time back. Now you can't get any additional income. Now you're missing other opportunities because of your home that you bought that was too big so that you could show off. But now you can't leave. Number 3, you aren't paying your bills on time. Y'all are out here not paying your bills on time. You live in paycheck to paycheck, which means that, like, sometimes because of the way your checking and savings are set up, the one bill's got to be pushed back. You paying that one a little bit late. You get an extension. You trying to get extensions. You catching them late fees. You're almost not being able to pay your mortgage. It's not a good place to be. You fumble in the bag. We gotta, and so, like, hopefully I'm pointing some of these out and it strikes a chord with you. And I don't want to hear no excuse. I want you to address the problem. If you're feeling some type of way, if this is touching you in your soul, and you're feeling a little bit upset by what you're hearing right now, or what you're seeing me say right now with this blank face, because, like, this isn't my problem, this is your problem. I'm hoping that that triggers something in you and it makes you course correct to make the adjustment to fix this. Because in order to fix a problem, we have to identify that it's a problem. And a lot of you aren't identifying these problems. So I'm going to call them out for you. And when you get upset, understand that's a problem that you have. It's not a problem that I have, because these aren't my issues. These are issues that I'm hearing about in these YouTube streets. These are issues that I'm hearing about when I'm watching some of these millennial finance gurus that are talking about how everything's so expensive, but then they feel like they have to buy things that they don't actually have to buy. You don't have to buy a bedroom set. You might need a bed, but you don't need the nightstand. You don't need the lamps. You don't need the bookshelf. You ain't even got books. You're broke. What are you putting on the bookshelf? You got a bookshelf with no books on it. You just got the shelf because it looked good with the set when you saw it in IKEA. Now you got to put it together. More time that you don't have because you're broke. Number 4, you're racking up consumer debt. You're spending more than you have. Again, because you got to get the nightstand. Well, now that you got the nightstand, you got to get a lamp to put on the nightstand, right? You just have to have it. No, you don't. You don't. Oh, you went out to the club. Oh, you have to get bottle service so that you can look and feel important. But you're not important. You're broke. You're broke. You are broke. You need to stop. You are spending more money than you have coming in. And then you are getting saddled with that bill. And you're paying 27 to 35% to sustain that. That's expensive. That's also money you don't have that we're not even talking about. Number 5, you don't have $1,000 in the bank for emergencies. Now, me personally, we all know this. I've only got $500 in the bank. The other 500 of that 1,000 is in the market because I don't like my money moving that slow. But most of you don't even have the option to have the 1,000 to begin with. Like, you don't have the 1,000 anywhere because you're broke. You have, like, if anything comes up, something comes up with your car. Like, as soon as I get back from this trip, I got to buy 2 tires. Not a problem. I'm going to go buy the 2 tires. And then I'm going to put the money back in the emergency fund after I buy the 2 tires. It's just what you do. Because you have things set in place so that if you need to do something, you can just do it without having to go further into debt because you're already broke. Most of you don't even have that. More than half of Americans don't have that because you're all broke. You're impressing each other. I mean, sure, you're keeping on appearances for each other, and it keeps the circle jerk going. But the reality of the situation is you're broke. Number 6, you are faking the funk. It's the truth. You know what I always say? You ain't got a lie to kick it. You're broke. You'd rather look rich. You'd rather look like you got something going on than actually be rich or actually have something going on. I mean, that really touches every point before number 6. You're relying on your parents and friends to sustain your lifestyle. You're living at home, but you out here in these streets acting like you've got something going on. But you're chilling at your mom's house. Got your mom feeling bad because she knows you're a loser. You know you're a loser deep down. But you pretend so hard. You stay so busy. You're non-self-sustainable. You're buying and putting on airs as though you're doing something, but you're broke. Stop faking. Stop faking. Call your situation for what it is. Admit that there's a problem and start to fix the problem. It's that simple, people. But you're not going to do that. You're going to continue faking until you hit that rock bottom and then you get caught out. And it's coming. Winter's coming. It's coming for everybody. It's coming for these chicks. It's coming for these modern women. It's coming for you dudes that are out here faking. You got all the stuff. You supposedly have all the things. But when times get hard, money is no longer cheap. And it's getting darn right expensive. What do you do then when the infinite money fountain dries up and you actually it's put up or shut up time? Where are you going to be then? Because most of you don't have skills. Let's be honest. AI's taking your jobs. And yeah, and you out here looking rich. How are you out here looking rich, though, is the question. And that leads us to number 7. Number 7. You're buying now and paying later. You guys are using Klarna. You guys will use an Afterpay. Just to look rich. I'll break it down into 4 payments, and it's 0% if you pay it in the 4 payments. But this is the thing: since you're broke, you're broke. Since you're broke, you're not paying it in the 4 payments. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a bean. You're not paying it in the 4 payments. You're catching those fees. Now, after you don't pay the 4 payments, it's at minimum 25% plus the late fees and service charges. Just to look like you're doing something. Just to look like you got something going on. Now me, if I use, because I don't ever use Afterpay. I've never used Afterpay. I've never used Klarna, but like my credit cards, because I have stellar credit, offer the same thing because they'd rather have me use my money over there. And so they'll break it up into 4 payments at 0% interest as well. Difference being is I zero my stuff out most of the time every month. So even though I break the payments up, it all keeps it in the same pool of money. So generally speaking, it gets paid early anyway. Like if it's a large purchase and I want to parse it out and I'll keep that money separate just to keep it in the market a little bit longer. Sometimes I do that, but 90% of the time it's null and void for me to even do that unless there's an investment that I want to make with that exact amount of money when I'm making that purchase to pay back over 4 payments. I've never had one where I've actually spaced it out the entire 4 payments because, like I said, like when you break it up in your credit card, it's different. It's not like a separate pool of money. It doesn't go somewhere else. It just sits in your credit card. So like if you don't pay it, there's no additional fee. It just goes into your credit card balance. There's just a portion of it that is getting drawn 0% on. But like if you just pay the balance off every month, it kind of makes it like a little bit different. Also, the credit card takes so long to process that by the time they approve it, 90% of the time I've paid it off already. So like it's not even that much of a benefit with the way that my money works. Now here's one that's even worse. Number 8. Y'all ain't even got $100 in the markets. Any of them. You guys aren't investing in anything. You own no assets. So you're sitting out here, you're faking the funk, you got the Gucci belt, you got the designer clothes, you got the athleisure on, you got your Lululemon. You're out here pretending like you're doing something, and you don't have $100 in the market. You have no assets. You just have things. And that's super sad. It's super sad. I just can't wrap my head around looking rich. And maybe it's because like I did grow up broke. Like they clown me for my shoes in school. Like I didn't get the latest and greatest of stuff. Now, if you look now, I don't normally wear off-brand shoes. I don't ever wear off-brand shoes. That's one of my things. It's because of the scarring from being a child and getting clowned for not having. For y'all remember the East Bays? They kind of look like Vans. Yeah, bro. I had East Bays. I had East Bays multiple years in elementary school, going into middle school. So now I don't like cheap stuff, period. Like I don't. I'll save up to get the actual thing that I want. I don't like knockoffs. I don't like cheap things. But I also don't really care about looking wealthy for other people. It's a personal preference. Like if I'm going to put on shoes, I want shoes. Like, and it's weird. Like I'm getting ready to turn my my wardrobe as far as the shoes go. And you know, like I was on an Asics kick, so like all my shoes were Asics because I like Asics. I do like Asics. They're very comfortable. And they're good to dance in. But you know, I got a wild hair. We're going back to Puma. I like Pumas a lot too. And so, you know, before Nike did their thing, I had a space where I only wore Nikes. Now, if I'm wearing dress shoes or it's like business trip type stuff, I like my Cole Haans. I like them. My Cole Haans are very comfortable, very nice shoes. But I'm not going to sit here and just spend all my money on Cole Haans like it's nothing and then not have any assets equivalent to what my shoe collection is. I've never had a shoe collection that was worth that I'd outspent on the shoe collection more than what I've got in the market. Like that's just crazy to me. And I don't even have a shoe collection. I normally don't have over 5 pairs of shoes at a time. So like when I turn my shoes, I get rid of 5 pairs of shoes and I filter back in 5 pairs of shoes over a long period of time. Like I don't even buy all 5 pairs at the same time. I could, but I don't. Like that, it just doesn't make any sense unless I find a really good sale. Like there's no way that you would see me get 5 pairs of shoes at the same time. Like it's crazy. Like that's crazy to me. That you walking around wearing your wealth that's depreciating on your person. And then on the back end of that, you are broke. That's crazy. But that's why y'all are broke. You're walking around wearing shoes that get torn up, get stepped on once, they're ruined. And you'll care as much about that. You'll care more about that than you do about establishing any type of wealth. I mean, like technically speaking, you build a good cash flowing portfolio, you could buy infinite amounts of shoes, not with your money. You could fund your shoe fetish with that. But y'all ain't doing that. You just want a microwave generation. You guys want it now. You want to make excuses. It's harder now. Well, I was like, you know what everybody wasn't doing back in the olden days when money was worth money? They weren't all wearing Jordans and talking about how it's hard out here. I swear to God, if I see one more person with Jordans up in their background, letting people know they got money, talking about why they can't do stuff, like the reason you can't do what you need to do financially is because of the shit that's behind you on your wall. That's why you're broke, because you got all the Jordans. Number 9, y'all ain't even out here investing in yourselves. Like you think everything's a scam while you're broke. You're broke. You don't want to try nothing. You think you know best. You've got no money. You won't invest to go to a conference. You won't invest to get in the room with people that are either where you think you're going or where you say you're trying to go or where you want to be already. Won't pay for that. But you got Jordans. It just don't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Number 10, which brings down to this. You don't value your time. You guys got valueless downtime. Y'all spend hundreds of hours. I see the Xbox notifications. Y'all will spend hundreds of hours building up these characters, running through these MMORPGs, getting all the weapons in San Andreas, playing these video games, having the baddest dude in Skyrim. and you built like all hell. You got a potato body. And you don't have any assets that produce income, but you got all this time to play games. You rich in the game. So does it make sense? You got a character known as your body, yourself in real life that you won't do improvements on, but you'll play games all day, all night. Oh, well, I gotta unwind after work. Why? Why do you have to unwind? Do you need to unwind if you're broke? Like, if you're working that hard just to be broke, like, that sounds pretty pathetic. Like, that's super sad that you'll work that hard, and then as soon as you clock out of that job, you've got no more energy left to improve yourself, to get, you can't even get the money into places where that money can make money for you. You waking up tired, you don't want to go to this place, talking about what they owe you, talking about how much you don't like it there, and you ain't filling out applications to leave. You do low value things and then wonder why you're a low value person. It's because you don't value your time. You don't even value your time. Why is anybody else going to take you seriously if you don't take you seriously? Make it make sense. Tell me where the lie is. A lot of you have excuses for everything, but at the end of the day, you don't take you seriously, so nobody else does. We only got 3 more. Number 11, already kind of touched on this. You ain't investing monthly. You're not taking care of yourself monthly. You're not moving. You're not building towards the future monthly. You're not investing monthly. You've got no budget because you live in paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, not even digging your way out because you don't take your finances seriously. If you don't take your finances seriously, your finances definitely ain't going to take you seriously, just like nobody else takes you seriously. Part of the reason you broke. Mixed up priorities because you got your Jordans. You look good at the club. You look like you got something going on at the club. You invest heavily in going out. But what else you got going? Okay, you do the bare minimum, you're going to have the bare minimum. Number 12, you are still rocking a car payment while you're broke. Y'all out here financing cars, and it's not so that you can have money in the market like me, because I'll finance a car too. We've talked about this. So I'll have a car paid off within 3 years, every single one, if not less. But that's so I can keep large chunks of money in the market, because for me, taking a large sum of money, putting it down on a car is a waste of money, in my opinion, when I can go put that in the market and use that money to make the car payment. But you are still rocking a car payment being broke. Now you got to decide between your mortgage or your rent, your car payment, and food. What you doing? And a lot of y'all don't look like you've been fasting either with your potato bodies. So, I mean, I'm guessing when it comes time, if push comes to shove, you could not eat. And you could just drink some extra water. You get 1 watermelon, go on a watermelon fast, whatever. Get your electrolytes up. But y'all are out here still financing cars at like 10%. Y'all are crazy. Y'all still got chargers out here. You getting your cars repossessed, because like obviously these decisions have been made, because all of you are getting, like, most of y'all are getting cars repossessed per the statistics. Just saying. I digress. I'm not saying you specifically, but I'm just saying, like, you guys are close to getting your cars repossessed. You're not investing. You got no money left, but you financing these nice cars to look good for people that don't even like you. It's wild to me. And here's the last one for y'all. You are making excuses for all of these things. And I'm frankly tired of hearing them. The white man did not make you finance a car. The white man does not make you spend every dollar, every penny that you have to get Jordans. The white man doesn't make you buy Jordans. The white man doesn't make you buy Gucci belts. The 1% aren't forcing you to spend your money on clothing to impress people. No one's forcing you to do that. The 1% is not coming and draining your bank account and giving you Jordans, giving you Ed Hardy shirts and pants. The 1% is not forcing you to stay at your parents' house. The 1% is not forcing you to pretend like you got something going on out here for these little hoochie mamas in these streets. so that you can make babies with crazy chicks, so that you can then be on child support, so that you can then have an additional burden and responsibility of a child that did not ask to be here that you chose to make. These are all excuses, and they're all at the end of the day pretty pathetic ones in 2023. Like there's not really an excuse aside from I didn't plan appropriately, I didn't move with intention, I didn't take myself seriously, I didn't take my finances seriously, which those aren't excuses, those are actually the legitimate reasons. But the fact that you're still making excuses in 2023 as to why you suck, why you're in the position that you're in financially, it's always somebody else's fault. At what point does it become your fault? Who spent the money? Who received the paycheck? Who chose to bust down that chick and shoot the club up? Who made that decision? Who chose to purchase that car? Who chose to purchase more house than they needed to flex? Who chose to purchase the car to flex? The person who made those choices, that's whose fault it is at the end of the day. Because no one forces anyone to do any of these things. No one forces you to spend money. Actions have consequences. And until we're willing to acknowledge that, like, I'm not sitting here making excuses for why my net worth's down this month. Like, I know exactly why it's down. Like, I'm overextended into crypto. Like, that's the field that I choose to play in, and I play hard. But I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, well, that's an issue. It's just, hey, you make the moves. We gonna catch it on the back end. We gonna catch it on the come up. It's coming. There's no excuses here. We're not making excuses. You handle your business. You handle it as you need to handle it, and you keep it moving. Like that's just what this is. Like, this is how we got to start doing things. We got to start moving accordingly. So hopefully this struck a chord with some of you. Hopefully this poked some of you a little bit. Some of these I hit feeling some type of way. You know, back in the olden days, the dollar was worth more. Sure it is. But, you know, again, everybody wasn't rocking Jordans back in the day. Like, I mean, they had nice enough clothes, but it wasn't the name brand frenzy that we got now. Not for everybody. People made decisions. People made decisions looking forward. People didn't try to impress people today. They wanted to impress people forever. Start building a legacy. And it starts now. It's not too late to start. That's the other thing that you got to understand. Anything that you're feeling some type of way about on this list, hit me up in the comments. Let's talk about it. Tap in for Guns and Butter later tonight. Again, it's Wednesday this week. Here in a few hours, Guns and Butter will be on. Come up and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We can do some bag talk on Guns and Butter. We probably, since it's going to be a shorter episode, I'm probably going to do a little bit of reaction. We're probably going to have like one or two topics that we're going to hit on. We're going to have the conversation and then see where it goes and see who rocks with it. And then we're gonna keep it moving. But yeah, hope you guys got value out of this. I hope you guys got some thought-provoking things. Now, think about this though. The inverse of this list is if you are not any of these things on this list, if this doesn't apply to you like it doesn't apply to me, you are leaps and bounds ahead of the average person in America, the average American financially. So if none of this applies to you and you're still kind of feeling some type of way, the way that I always say is if you're not worried, you should be worried. You should be worrying. And if you're worrying, you don't need to worry. Now, for me personally, I'm constantly going over, constantly trying to see if there's ways for me to improve, constantly pivoting, trying to figure out different ways to get different income streams, trying out different things, obviously doing this YouTube stuff, doing a bunch of different stuff in the real world. You know, we starting to get on the road. We starting to get back out here traveling. I had to order my new I'm Flying cheat bag because they got me on Frontier this time around. And my bag that I love to travel with, that's perfect for me, for the way that I travel, is too big to get on this plane. And I'm not about to risk it. And I'm not about to be arguing with them. And I'm not about to pay no extra dollars at the airport to get on this plane. So I had to order another backpack that'll fit for Spirit and Frontier. I haven't flown Spirit in a long time. I did not realize Frontier was also a cheap airline. I'm a mid-tier flyer. I fly Southwest 90% of the time. I did not know that it was so dog eat dog when it came to traveling on these planes. They'd be getting upset, but I'm packing all my stuff for these 3-4 days in this little backpack because I know how to roll close. And once you know how to roll close, you don't need a whole lot of space. That's the reason I like the travel bag that I have. I have a normal TSA approved standard size travel bag for the normal airlines. And I can fit like over a week's worth of clothes in there with an extra pair of shoes. Now, I'm probably going to have to sacrifice the extra pair of shoes this trip. We'll see if I can fit it in the bag. I don't know. I'm not going to find out till tomorrow if it's even big enough to fit the extra pair of shoes. But I know that it's going to fit all the clothes and it's going to fit the technology devices. And this bag actually is pretty cool. It's going to have a charger on it, which is cool. I'm charging the battery pack for it right now because I had to order my own battery pack. But it's got a charger on it, so I can charge from the backpack, from the strap. So I got to take the backpack off. I can charge my phone as needed, and it'll hold my technology stuff. And then I've got a little travel liquid seal bag that's going to have all my other stuff in it. But I think this is going to work. It'll be interesting to see, but it's going to be good because like I'll start looking at Frontier. I didn't know that was an option, but I got no problem getting on a cheap airplane flight to get to a conference. Like I'm not somebody who needs a lot of space personally. Like as long as I can get on the plane, I'm going to sleep anyway. Like I'm not going to be awake for it. As long as the plane stays in the air from point A to point B, I'm good. But you know, you got to be able to pivot, which sucked. But I actually did the research. It was like ordering the backpack, the new bag was less expensive than paying to check my regular bag that I would normally take. Like this is ridiculous. Like, you gotta, if you fly in below Southwest, you gotta strategically be prepared to do that. Like that's a whole different animal, and it's wild. But I digress. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Obviously, I will be doing this as a premiere. I think we're gonna start doing it as a premiere because normally I notify myself when I do premieres, so that way I can jump in the chat with you guys. So keep tabs. I might, if depending on how things are going, if I got a little time to be in the chat and out of the chat, say what's up to some people, I will do that. Otherwise, make sure to tap in with me on Guns and Butter tonight so that we can have the conversation. I hope you guys got value out of this. Again, shout out to the Wolf Pack. We over here, we doing it big. Share this video. It's important that you guys share these videos. It gets it out into the algorithm. Hitting the like button also gets it out to the algorithm. If you hate me and hate what I say, hit the thumbs down button because I value that as well. Because we're trying to get this to as many people as possible. And, you know, we're trying to have legitimate, like I'm trying to, you know, really dial this in. So that way, every one of these episodes gives you guys at least one or two nuggets to take away. But this one's important. I mean, these are things to think about. And like I said, if you check all the boxes on this list and you are leaps and bounds ahead, you are well on your way to getting wealthy because you're already ahead of most of the people in America. Think about that. Because we on the move over here. So like if you're not, you got to get this list checked off. You got to list. It's 13 things we got to rock down. We got to rock it out. Obviously. Now this is hump day. So if you're not having the week that you want, it's not too late to pivot. If you don't have the bank account you want, it's not too late to pivot. If you don't have the life you want, it's not too late to pivot. This is Reckless Ray Dinero, and we up out of here. We'll see you guys in a few short hours here for Guns and Butter. Hope you guys tap in because we will be live. We will be taking questions. I do monitor the chat heavily because the chat makes the show, and I'll respond. Also, if you want to come up and actually talk to your boy, you can do that too. We'll see you guys in a few hours. Reckless Ray Dinero, and I'm out.